State Senator Matt Dolan of the great state of Ohio joins us by Zoom this morning. Good morning, Senator Dolan. How are you?
Good morning, Hugh. How are you? You did a great job on Sunday night.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun, and I thought it was astonishing. We had 1,500 people, most of whom paid for their tickets, and it was civil. It was substantive. Have you had debates like that before in your political career?
Yeah, so, I mean, first of all, you set the tone by asking substantive questions, so they required us as candidates to reveal what we know and what our vision is for Ohio and the U.S. Senate. So that helped greatly. Yeah, as you move closer to election day, they become more debates where you counter your opponents. But I think this time, with so many people in the race, just outlining what our visions are and what my vision is, what people wanted to hear. They didn't want to hear squibbling, wobbling between us. They wanted to hear stuff.
Now, Matt Dolan, there are 6 candidates. They're all well-funded. They all have experience. I wrote about this for the Washington Post this weekend in my weekly column, and I described you as in the Rob Portman lane. I'm curious if you think that's a fair description and if you welcomed it. I don't know if you've read the column or not, but I tried to accurately portray how people are approaching a crowded field.
So I think I read the article. I thought it was a good article. I would argue, though, that I am in my own lane, and maybe my own reflects Rob Portman, but there's no one else that has been singularly focused on the issues that impact Ohio more than me. And so there are facts that distinguish me. I'm the only one supporting the infrastructure bill, which brings tremendous relief and investment to Ohio, which is great for Ohio businesses. I'm the only one in this race that is an elected official and has positive conservative experience and results that I can bring to Washington and reproduce the same thing. So I think I'm uniquely qualified, and I have my own lane in this race, and everyone else is in the other lane.
No, I also liked your answer about Youngstown and Warren and what happens if you run against Tim Ryan, who is from Warren Niles, which is, I'll ask him why he hasn't been where I've been in Youngstown. So apparently you have been to Youngstown on infrastructure business. Did I gather that correctly? We ran out of time. It's only 75 seconds of an answer.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, way more than just infrastructure. You know, the Mahoning Valley is trying to recreate themselves, a lot like Cleveland, a lot like Toledo has done, and I've been helpful there, trying to create the Voltage Valley, trying to bring in new businesses. So I have been intimately involved in the development of Mahoning Valley on infrastructure, on workforce development, on property acquisition, and I am down there frequently to see what I can do in my role as state senate, my unique role as finance chairman, which puts, I get my fingerprints all over the state of Ohio and how we're developing. So lower taxes, less regulation, as I said, workforce, energy development, which is a huge part of Mahoning Valley and the Appalachia area. So, I think Tim Ryan will have a very difficult time with me saying I'm not aware of the Mahoning Valley. I'm not aware of what the Mahoning Valley needs. In fact, America Works, Lordstown, when they point to those areas, they're going to say, "Whoa, it's Dolan's legislation that helps grow that area."
So, Senator Dolan, I did ask about the backpack bill. My co-moderator was Aaron Baer from the Center for Christian Virtue. They want the backpack bill badly. You're in support of it. Will that lead the way? Virginia, the governor's race, it's all about education. I suspect everything's going to be about education for the next 12 months. How do you intend to confront the education issues across the Buckeye State?
Well, again, unique to me, I'm the only one that has done it. So education needs to be about the child. And, of course, who's responsible for the child? The parents. So, of course, it's silly to say that parents aren't involved in the child's education. In Ohio, I wanted to make it clear that we no longer can be concerned about where a child gets educated. Our children need to be educated. So we have done a wonderful job of investing in our public schools, holding them accountable. If you're not producing, you're going to be held accountable, and we're going to put you into other controls. But also to give the parents more control by vouchers and school choice and creation of charter schools. So that A, we create competition, but B, if your school's failing you, or if you're being indoctrinated and you don't like the teachings that are creeping their way into our schools that decide that how a child's going to be raised and how they experience the world is based on their race, which is crazy, you can leave. You can get to a school that you think your child's going to get math, science, English. Prepare them for the 21st century economy. That no one else in this race is going to be able to say that they have been involved in education as much as I have.
Now, you threw out a term at the debate, which I didn't know, and I had to go back and look up, which is the Great Lakes Compact. I didn't know what that was. I've always told people that when climate change really happens in a terrible way, you want to live in Ohio because we have a lake. Apparently, you figured that out, as did a bunch of other people from the Great Lakes states and Canada. What does that do?
Hugh, in its simplest form, it says that if you want to benefit from the Great Lakes waters, you better move and site your business in the Great Lakes region, because we are not shipping your water outside. We're not shipping our water outside of this region. In 2006, when China was trying to strike a deal with a Minnesota company to ship Lake Superior water, the Great Lakes region got involved. I represented Ohio along with the ODNR, Sean Logan, who's from your area, by the way, in the Mahoning Valley. And we, along with 7 other states and 2 provinces of Canada, worked really, really hard. As you can imagine, that's what being a legislature is: getting together, figuring out what everyone's needs are, fighting out where we don't agree, and producing a result, which was the Great Lakes Compact, which is situating us perfectly because we are facing drought conditions, and sooner or later manufacturers are going to say, I want to go where there's water, which again makes me uniquely qualified, because when I go to the U.S. Senate, I'm going to know how important the Great Lakes regions are. And even though we are losing clout in numbers, if I'm in the U.S. Senate, you will not lose clout in knowledge and experience and know-how to protect the Great Lakes region.
You know, I was one of those people who always wanted to solve California's water problem. I lived there for 27 years before coming back to Virginia. And I always wanted to solve their problem by building a pipeline to the Great Lakes. I gather that's not going to fly?
No, you and I would have butted heads on that, Hugh. No. But you're more than welcome to bring your companies back to Ohio and site them here, and we have plenty of water, and you can develop. Think about it. Ohio can be, we're already top in manufacturing. We can be even greater. Food processing service needs water. You're going to see the development of that in Ohio. You just need people in the right positions to be able to know how it works. And it's beyond water. I've cut your taxes. I've cut your regulations. I've improved your workforce development. I'm investing in infrastructure, both at the state level, and I'm the only one in this race who's investing in infrastructure at the federal level. It doesn't raise your taxes. It doesn't increase the debt. It's a great bill worked out by Portman. Now let's get it done so we can invest in Ohio.
I loved your line that you felt like a Browns fan at Three Rivers. Are you going over to First Energy this weekend for Steelers weekend, Senator Matt Dolan?
Well, Hugh, I'm going to call you out. You're dating yourself a little bit with Three Rivers. It's and you and I are in the same area, so it's Hinesfield.
Oh, it's Hinesfield. Yep.
I do that all the time as well. I'm not going to the game, but it's Brown Steelers, so I the campaign team knows I'm going to be watching Brown Steelers. And I said that remark not just because of maybe I wasn't getting as many claps as everybody else, but the idea that no matter where I am and no matter what condition or environment I'm in, I'm going to be true to who I am. So I'm going to be a Browns fan in a Steelers park or a Ravens park. I'm going to tell Ohioans what I can do for them no matter what the audience is or who. I'm not playing to the audience. I'm allowing the audience to hear from me, my constituents, know what I've done, know what I want to do, and allow them to make the right judgment on who's best to serve them in Washington. My message just...
Effective presentation, Senator Dolan. It was well done. I look forward to having each of you back. I had Mike Gibbons on yesterday, Matt Dolan today. I'm going to keep an eye on Ohio because as Ohio goes, so goes the GOP. State Senator Matt Dolan, great to have you again. Go Browns. You're right, Heinz Stadium versus Three Rivers. I am stuck in Terry Bradshaw. I call Big Ben Terry Bradshaw all the time. If you've been losing to the Steelers for 40 years, this is going to be a great weekend. Go Baker. Get back in the game. Matt Dolan over on Twitter. Go follow him. Follow me to the next segment, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. It's Friday inside the Beltway. Stay with me.